Hello, hello. This is Anne-Lise Gere again, and another episode of Ask the HR Expert. Your HR questions answered in 3 minutes or less. And today's question is something that all home health and home care providers are struggling with, which is the fact that many caregivers, candidates for new jobs, do not show up for interviews. And so what can you do to mitigate this problem? Because of course it's costing you, your agency, the person who's doing recruitment, a lot of unnecessary work. They're scheduling an interview and nobody shows up. So it's clearly a plague. And if you didn't know yet, you're not the only one in that position. But what can you do? Well, first of all, understand the environment in which you're operating. Caregivers at this time in the market are receiving up to 3 jobs offer every week. And that's data that we know because of My CNA Jobs research. The other thing that we know is that 56% of caregivers report that they are always looking for another job. So more than half of your caregiver population is looking, has some sort of alert set up on their phone to let them know when other jobs similar to caregiving come available in your area. So what can you do? What are the mitigating strategies that are working across the industry? The number one thing for me is making sure that you are fast when you do the recruitment. When you receive an application, you should respond immediately. You should schedule an interview the same day. So schedule the same day and make sure that the interview happens within 3 days. And 3 days should really be the maximum because, and only if you receive an application on a Friday, would I say schedule it for Monday. But if you receive an application on Monday, you better be scheduling something for Tuesday or Wednesday because others will snap up that caregiver. Another important aspect which will help you be fast is use technology to your advantage and understand how your prospective caregivers use that technology. So nobody picks up a phone call anymore unless they recognize the number. That's when texting is really helpful because the text is there and they can see who is trying to connect with them. Another thing you would want to add to your text is a link to a scheduling app. So your prospective caregivers can actually schedule themselves the time for their interview at a time that you have selected as open windows, and they pick up a time that's convenient for them. So look for scheduling apps. Caregiving is a high-touch business, and so there's no reason why it comes to recruiting caregivers, it shouldn't be a high-touch business. And that's why it's such a time-consuming business, but it's well worth it. By high-touch, I mean get in touch with your candidates. So once an interview has been scheduled, you know, somebody's interested, somebody's probably still available for work, so call them. Call them with a reminder that their interview is coming up later that day or tomorrow. You probably won't talk to anybody, but leave a voicemail or text a reminder. And also very important, send a thank you once a candidate has come for an interview with you. And even if you're not interested in hiring them, I think it's a nice touch and it puts your agency ahead of the pack when it comes to, you know, making a positive impression in your community. If you can, make a decision as soon as possible, because remember my first point, be fast. So make a decision as soon as possible, and ideally make it on the spot when you're hiring somebody. You can always make a job offer contingent on satisfactory reference, satisfactory certification, whatever else you need in your state to meet the requirements to operate legally. And finally, make sure that when you have a candidate who is interested in you, you want to stand out from the crowded field of of companies that are trying to recruit caregivers, and so create a unique experience from the first contact to on-site interviews. And we know from research that it doesn't take anything extraordinary, but simple human touch and kindness along the way make caregivers really feel that your agency is different from the rest. So those are some of my suggestions for you today on how to improve the actual show-up rate of caregivers for interviews and your likelihood to recruit them. If you have any more questions, please contact me. This is my email here on the screen at Anne-Lise@gereconsulting.com. And for more HR content for home health, make sure to check my website at gereconsulting.com. And you might also want to sign up for my weekly e-newsletter that is all about HR and your industry, home health and home care. Until next time, have a great day. Bye now.